You can please state your name, what position you played, and as well as how many years you played for Coach Klempner and the organization Regina Thunder.
My name is Jimmy Cablis. I was a defensive back with them for 3 years, and I played under Erwin for 1 year and got to coach with them for 1 year.
Sure.
I'm Boyd Richardson. I play D-end, and this is my 4th year on the Thunder.
My name is Mark Coons. I played running back, and I played 5 years with Regina Thunder.
Right.
Is it recorded?
Yes, of course.
All right. Well, I'm Yanni Callis. I'm a linebacker for the Regina Thunder, and I'm currently just finished my 4th year playing under Coach Klempner.
My name is Drew Bars. I've played defensive end, defensive tackle, nose tackle, right tackle, left tackle, tight end, and I've moonlighted at fullback. I also, believe it or not, spent a year on the injured reserve.
Lee Forsberg, wide receiver, number 12, and I played 5 years.
What was your most memorable moment being a part of Regina Thunder?
There's not one specific moment, I would say. We had some pretty good times there. Just the group of guys that we got to play with was awesome. We weren't the greatest team record-wise, but we had some fun, and on defense we had a lot of fun, and we were quite successful.
There were so many, but I guess the easiest to recall would be our playoff win this last year in Calgary. I remember the last play of the game was like 50 seconds long, and we ran back and forth when they're doing all their trick stuff. And when we finally won and the game was done, I remember being absolutely gassed, and I was laying on my back, and I could barely breathe, and everyone's cheering, and Erwin came up, walked over me, and just and helped me up, and we were both just laughing, just had an awesome time. That's kind of like what I remember was that.
I guess I kind of have two memorable moments that come to mind. When one would be beating Saskatoon Hilltops at home, night game, and because we usually play Sunday afternoon games and stuff like that. And also, I guess just winning the first round of playoffs is kind of a big thing for Regina Thunder history. So that's one of the main things that stick out in my mind.
Remember, but ultimately, I think one of the most favorite memories I have is just honestly being a part of a team that has become successful over the years, and being to out of the last 3 years to 2 PFC championship games, and also just making friends on the team. Like, you're around a great group of guys, and you're still friends with them. I know lots of people are still friends up to this day just from this experience of playing junior football.
Other than the countless junior football Sundays I've had, I think beating Calgary, not this past year, but at home in our first ever home playoff game, being that we had never won, the organization had never won a playoff game before, and it being the first ever home playoff game for the Thunder, just the whole atmosphere and the way we beat them, we beat them pretty handily. And to be more specific, I remember a goal line stand we had late in the game. I just remember running off the field, and the emotion that all 12 of us had running into the group of 75 waiting for us on the sideline it was fantastic.
My most memorable moment was my first touchdown when I caught a hitch pass and took it probably 60 to 65 yards against the Edmonton Huskies. Pointed at the scoreboard because we were up by 14, and we ended up losing in the last 2 minutes.
Well, what stood out the most for you for Coach Klempner being your head coach?
Well, as a player, I had played 2 years previous to Erwin becoming the head coach. I didn't know what to expect, but after meeting with him, I thought good things about him, and I had a good feeling about where he decided to take the direction of the team. One thing that stands out to me about Erwin or Coach Klempner, is he was always fair. He treated his players across the board fair. It didn't matter who you were. It didn't matter if you're number 1 on the roster or if you're number 65. he always treated players with respect, and he did a lot for them. He was a very caring head coach.
How much Erwin cared about not just the team but his players. I remember this last year I got injured for one of the games just before the practice before the game, and I limped off the field, and he came in to see me in the training room, and he just kind of said, "Sorry, not this week, kid, but next week we'll get after it." And everything Erwin said was truly from the heart, and it may take a while for him to get from his heart out of his mouth, but what he said was from the heart. So that's what I appreciate most about Erwin.
I guess one of the main things that stood out with me is he taught me in high school, and so he was just a friendly face, and somebody you could talk to, and somebody that would come up to me and ask me, how not necessarily how football is going, but also life, what I'm planning to do in my career, schooling, and that type of stuff. So, I mean, just his friendly face, big-hearted guy, and that's the main thing that stood out with me.
Well, with my 4 years there, just how much he cared for all 75 guys on our roster, no matter if you're number 1 to 75, but just the way he cared and took care of his players, not only as a coach but as a person, and throughout, if you needed anything, you could go up to Coach Klempner and ask him or talk to him about anything you needed to talk to him about, and I'm just thankful I got to play under him.
Just not only how much he cared, but he always let you know that there was much more to life than just football. Football brought us all together, and that's the reason we're all there and the reason we're all here tonight. But he really reiterated the fact that there's so much more to life than just football, and he was going to help you find jobs. He was going to help you in your schooling. If you needed a tutor or whatever, he'd help you find that tutor. If things weren't going so hot and you needed support, if no one was there to support you, he had your back 100%. And he really made sure that you felt welcome and that you belonged with this team, this organization, and with whatever else. And I just remember at the end of the season, Erwin had asked me what my goals and plans were. I had told him, and he was going to do whatever it took to help get me there. And he really did, and he really helped me get to where I am today and where I'm going.
My most memorable moment as Erwin as my head coach. Most memorable moment. Erwin. Really gotta dig here. On a serious note, Erwin, you were a pretty memorable coach. I remember my last year in 2006 when we really had no idea of where the team was going to go. We had no coach. We had no future, really. We just had a bunch of really good coaches with no head coach, no leadership, and you came in and figured out a way to make it work and salvage some sort of a season that we had. You helped me get to another level as a player, which was great. And you also took the Thunder to 2 PFC finals, which had not been done in the past, which was great. More importantly, you did a lot of great recruiting for the team. You put Thunder on the map for a competitive team, which we'd only had a few years in its existence with Randy as a coach. So what you did was great. I thank you for it. Thank you for making the Thunder where they are today.
Now, Erwin, there's no way you thought we were going to do a video for you without me being in it. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Tyler Hogan. I played 4 years under Erwin Klempner. First things first, Erwin, I got a bone to pick with you. You always said throughout my 4 years, I've never lied to you guys. I'll never tell a lie to you guys. Well, here's the deal, Erwin. You did lie to us once. You came on a Wednesday practice. You're doing your talk after practice. You said, "Gentlemen, where I'm from, we got a little saying. It's called the Show Me State for a reason. I'm from Missouri, the Show Me State. So we don't talk, we just show you what we're going to do. That's why it's called the Show Me State." And Erwin, I'm going to be honest with you. I know for a fact you're from Saskatchewan. there is no way you are from Missouri. And if you are, you have a terrible Missouri accent. So there's lie one. Second off, what I want to say is, Erwin, thank you. I really appreciated the 4 years. My favorite memory probably would have been your passion. The passion you showed every day at practice. It wasn't just you'd show up and you were tired. You were never tired. You never let anyone see you tired ever. You always showed up and you're always there because you wanted to be there. And your passion just ignited the entire team. Guys wanted to play for you, and it showed with our success while I was there. When I think of Erwin Klempner as a coach, two things immediately pop into my mind. The first one was he always told us that player number 1 to player 75 was equally as important, and he truly believed that. No matter if you were Reed Quest, if you were Asher Hastings, all the way down to Jake Magoo or Drew Bars, you know, everyone was equally as important to him, and he didn't just mean that as a player, he meant that as a person. He always believed that every one of us were his sons, and he treated us exactly the way he would treat his sons. He would give us praise when we deserved praise, and he would scold us when we needed scolding, when we did something wrong. If I could have one story that really sums up Erwin Klempner as a coach, it takes me back to 2009. We were playing the Hilltops at home, and no one on the team had beaten the Hilltops. It was probably 5 or 6 years since the Thunder had beat the Hilltops, and we were driving down at the end of the game, and we had an opportunity to kick a field goal to tie it with about a minute left. And Erwin called a timeout to talk about it, and all the players were in his ear. I was right beside him, blatantly yelling in his ear, go for it, go for it. It's 3rd and 2, we were on the 15. He said, go for it, go for it, go for it. And finally, he said, like he had at least once a week, at least once a day, he would always say, this is your team, I'm just the coach. This is your team, I'm just the coach. And all the players wanted to go for it. So we ended up going for it, and we ended up winning that game. And that was the first time we beat the Hilltops, like I said, in 5 years. And I think that was a pivotal moment in his coaching career with the Thunder that really set him up for success for the following years. So that's probably the one thing that I will always remember about Erwin Klempner. He always said it was our team, and that's the way he coached.
Jesus, man, it's filming.
Okay, what's the first question?
It's already filming.
What's the first one?
Well, here.
Yeah.
What would I say? I don't get that.
Okay, now all these are gonna be done.
No, dude, let's do it all the time. No, you gotta do it.
3's good.
No, because you do all of them.
4's overkill.
You're head coach for the past 5 years when you did play for the Regina Thunder.
Is it still running?